La Habra, who is 1-1. They are at Mission Viejo, which is 2-0 on the season. The Highlanders lost, I don't know if you would call it a thriller, but they lost in overtime to Toro 14-13. Steve, you were there. Meanwhile, Mission Viejo beat CIF champs Oak Hills 42-28. Mission Viejo was actually down at one point. Yes, it is true. Jamari Farrell had an incredible game, as well as Mr. McDonald. Steve, your thoughts on La Habra? You were there last week going up against a fine-tuned Mission Viejo team.
Guys, they got to fix some quarterback situations over there at La Habra. It wasn't a really good night for the guys under center over there. Maybe that had something to do with Tesoro's defense, which was really good. But, boy, I think La Habra, another South County trip, and they sometimes aren't winning too many of those South County trip games. I think Mission Viejo is really hot right now, hotter than any team early, just about besides Mater Dei, in terms of county schools, Bosco, Centennial, on and on. But I think La Habra, boy, they've really got to fix some things. They're going to have a successful venture playing Mission Viejo.
La Habra did beat a South County team in El Toro,
Yes,
so they're not afraid of facing really tough competition. We always give them credit for that. Dan, La Habra versus Mission Viejo, two teams ranked in the top 10, but Mission's on a whole nother level.
Yeah, and this is why La Habra does this. I mean, they play the hardest schedule by far in the Freeway League and in their division, and that's why they've won so many CIF titles, and that's why they've won the Freeway League so many times in a row. And they don't mind taking their lumps, and they get some grief on the message boards about they're not as good as Mission Viejo. They're trying to win the Freeway League. That's what they care about. They're trying to make a postseason run. They'll take their lumps. Coach Mazzota will get the quarterbacks going. I think La Habra has the defense maybe to hang with Mission Viejo. If their corners can hang in there, I like La Habra's defense. So that can be at least a starting point of a competitive game, perhaps.
Steve, you had something quick to add?
Yeah, you know what? Dan's absolutely right about La Habra taking on the schedule, how that does help them out come November. I'm looking at a La Habra San Clemente championship game in Division II.
Yeah, it could very well happen. Finally, our last game on the docket is number 16 San Juan Hills visiting number 15 Capistrano Valley. Both teams are 2-0 on the season. San Juan Hills last week scored 17 unanswered points to defeat Canyon. Capistrano Valley, on the other hand, beat Rancho 59-7. They are on a roll. Both teams are 2-0. Steve, what's the deal?
When you talk about quarterbacks that are sort of on the hot seat, the kid who had replaced Patrick O'Brien over there at San Juan Hills, Doug Jackson, he was on one too, but he's having a pretty good season so far for San Juan Hills. He's doing okay for him. And then Kevin Brown at Capistrano Valley, he's about 6'4", 200 pounds, something like that. Dan, Ivy League recruit, really good guy, coming off on a couple good weeks for them too. So I like this game a lot. We have them ranked like right next to each other, 14 for Capo and 15 in the county for San Juan Hills. So they're right neck and neck with each other. I like Capistrano Valley in this game, though. I think they're a pretty good team and right in there in terms of their league championship.
Capo Valley will be looking for revenge since they lost to San Juan Hills. It was 58-21 last year, but these two teams they've been trading wins for the last 4 years. Dan?
Yeah, I think this game is going to be much closer than last year's game. I think Capo's a real deal. San Juan's finding different ways to do it. With the running back duo is pretty good. Cole Sushek brings a lot of speeds coming off 94 yards against Canyon. His running mate is Brock Hazel. So they got this duo of senior running backs, trying to pick up, for Patrick O'Brien this year. But San Juan, I like their passion of their fan base. They're telling us, the Stallions are telling us, we are better than you're ranking us, OCVarsity. So they're gonna be fired up, in this game.
They're new and they got attitude.
Well, I like attitude too. These rankings are a lot of fun. As we always say, rankings start more arguments than they solve. And so, we went with a top 25 this year. Had done a top 10 for however long it's been.
I can do a top 10, but 25. You're killing me, Steve.
Well, the guy who has to add up those votes is having a fun time with it every gosh darn Monday. So it's a lot of fun too. Hey, a game I'm going to slip by you guys because I want to know what you think. El Toro, Corona del Mar. I'm at that game. I think it's pretty good. El Toro's 0-2. They've played some good teams. Corona del Mar 1-1. They had that loss to Palos Verdes. Kind of washed that one out. PV's pretty tough in their own home yard. I don't know about this one, man. It's a coin flip game for me, but I'm a big fan of Chase Garbers at CDM, so I might go with the Sea Kings. What do you guys say?
I've seen Corona del Mar a good number of the last couple of years. Yeah. I'm with you. Chase Garbers is a stud. Yeah. Dan, what's your take?
Well, I think that the quarterback, it's going to be a pretty good quarterback duo with Chase Garbers and Cooper Jones. And he's got a couple of really good receivers, and he looks really comfortable out there, and they're throwing it a lot. He's throwing it about probably average about 45 times. So maybe this is a big shootout. But what El Toro hasn't done, they haven't run the ball well in their first two games. And Corona Del Mar got its ground game going last week up at in Northern California. So should be an interesting game.
Steve, you had one more thought in this marathon edition of the Gridiron Show?
You know what? I think El Toro's still trying to figure things out with DeWitt Wilson transferring out, which was kind of pulled the rug out from him because I think DeWitt was with him, for a little bit of the spring at least. And so that's a tough one for them too. But they're 0-2, and the two teams they lost to La Habra, and then they lost to East Lake at Chula Vista. They took that big bus ride all the way down to Chula Vista, and that's always a tough ride for high school kids, and they lost that game. They're 0-2. I think they're going to be pretty hungry for this one, to win this one. It's at Estancia High School. I'm at that game Friday. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, are we done, guys? I think we're done. Thank you,
Steve.
Steve.
Anything, Dan? You want to talk about
we're done, guys. We're done. I think we hit the cap.
Go overtime?
It's a time limit draw. We're
I've
done.
got 2
here.
overtime games.
Ring the
in 2
bell,
weeks,
everybody.
man.
Okay, thanks to Steve.
We're going to overtime.
Yeah, we'll see.
overtime.
I don't want to go to
Start at the
Steve's
25,
games.
Dan, you get the ball first.
He gets home at midnight. All right. Thanks to Steve Fryer. Thanks to Dan Albano. Thanks to Orange Lutheran for us hijacking their field. All right, that's it for the Gridiron Show.
I'm going to go for 2 if I score, though.
For all your latest high school football updates in Orange County, make sure to check out OCVarsity.com, where we've got you covered.